But yeah, y'all get them off the streets. Y'all get them off the dope. I get them out the streets. So we do got that in common as well. Man.
Mhm.
Jet got his CDL just driving. Bought him a scat pack last week. You ain't had no scat pack when you was in the streets. So what that tell you?
Right.
Yep.
That tell you that the legit way is the right way. You
Right.
feel me?
Right.
And that's not to say he couldn't have got one, but evidently you ain't have all the credentials. See, it ain't just about the money. You gotta have work
Mhm.
history, this and that. So yeah, that's what I do,
And
man. I
and a
tell
lot of the
anybody.
and a lot of the stuff come with maturity too, bro. I had to really check myself and see how immature I was because I done ran through a bunch of money, but I just ain't know what to do with that money. Thankfully, on my end, I had I'm blessed to have the wife I had, So
Yeah.
every time I went and sat down, I came home to something, or anytime we was in a jam, she was like, "Oh, I got this put up." But the maturity. So today I'm able to pay bills. Today I'm able to create a savings. Today I'm able to put my wants to the side and focus on my needs. So that's the maturity part of it too, of growing up. I just, so having those talks, like especially with the youngsters, because a lot of times they can't really see past right now. They just
Yeah.
seeing like how can so being able to let them know like, okay, we can still have it, we can still make this type of money, but today it got more rewards and not the consequences,
Mhm.
like
Yes,
like
sir.
it's so you have to be, and like Dominique was saying, be able to walk with somebody through the process and really show them the game. It's
Yeah.
something that we've been planning and trying to do for so long. We just get people who driving trucks, get people who got their electrician license, get people who got HVAC, get people who plumbers.
Well,
These right now today, these all our people who we come up with in the game. As I think about it, people who was in the game, they just didn't change their life.
they grown up.
They
Right.
grew up,
Right.
Yeah.
so we able to really put people in front of these youngsters. That's why I be trying to focus on these youngsters and be able to show them. Cause sometimes they just ain't able to see it, man. They not able to see how can I stop doing this in order to get this, So
Yeah,
it's
but I
cool.
think back, Jarvis, too, even with being able to see it with the when my mind was so clouded and my perception was so wrong, I used to see it. And you know what I used to say? Them boys lame. Them boys work.
Straight up,
They lame. They working. And then
right?
keep
I,
on down the road. Them boys
Hey,
own
right. Hey, right now, I know about four people who done about to retire from Procter and Gamble.
retiring.
You feel me? The one we say, man, they lame, they working, and I'm just not getting my stuff together, and they about to retire, and I gotta put in this work, or either go get my own
hello.
business.
Well, listen, this the coldest one. Who you call lame now?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
A
right,
Right.
motherfucker's trapped in the game. You
Yeah.
see him,
right.
he think he balling. He
Like
might
Mhm.
got
man,
him 100,000, and he think
yeah,
he up. Don't know he one dope charge away from losing everything and,
And you
and his
feel
life.
bad for him. You feel bad. Like it actually make me sad when I
yeah.
see the little dudes. They really sometimes they really be on, and it literally sometimes break my heart because I be like, they don't
I
even
know.
know. They don't
Shit.
even know. Like you really only doing what you allowed to do, and what you allowed to do has been programmed to you. Like you really a pawn, and just being able to see that, man, it just break your
Like
heart.
we say when we talk to them, really you getting pimped by the system, and then on the other end, your family getting pimped by the system because once you get locked up, next thing you know, who got to send you something? Your
Your
mama.
mama,
They
sister.
got to start spending money and this and that, and you better hope you got a family support system because of this. You can go from being on in these streets to being an indigent person in prison.
Man, I done seen
Been
boys
saying
come from bricks and go in that penitentiary and can't get $10 sent to them. I'm talking about naturally. But
Right.
listen, damn y'all, you just said something where they hit on me that I want to comment on. God damn it. Mm. Yeah, man.
about
So
the
I got a
probably
question. I got
about
a
the
question.
people being lame.
Yeah. Well, oh, that's what I wanted to say. Especially when I see people our age still call themselves,
Yeah, you tripping.
man, I don't care what you got, man. I look, I be like, man, boy, boy, you lost, man. You
Yep.
lost, man. You 45, 50 years old and really thinking, and we're gonna lose a lot of people on this one. You know, it's gonna people
Yeah.
gonna they think they woo woo woo. But the facts are the facts, bro. It's a lot of dudes our age I see who still, man, if I had to rely on the streets to pay my bills, I'd go crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Hmm. And that's
I'll go
not,
naturally
and that,
crazy.
and you know, and that's not coming from us judging. It's coming
Judge it.
from because we see the whole picture. Like we understand that it's so bred in you that culturally and programming is so bred in you that you can't see outside of it. You know, but I always, encourage anybody like do the research. Look and see what's really going on, and you can help yourself come out of it because I don't know nobody who was, stay a fool, and they even the Bible say you a damned fool if you know better and you don't do better. So we got to seek that knowledge to know better.
All
Yeah.
right,
And then it's
let's go.
yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Go
What you
ahead,
gonna say?
sir. No, I was about to
Close
say,
it
and
out, close it
then
out, close it out.
I'm about to say, even hey, bro, and then it's okay to get close to people. Sometimes, like sometimes I don't. At one point, I ain't want to get close to nobody just because I thought they might have thought they was doing better, or because I see them doing something different. But really and truly, if I put my pride to the side, I probably need to get close to this person. They can show me something, you know. So a
Hmm.
lot of our people got that issue too, just not being able to reach out for help or connect to the right people that got their best interest too. So that's hard.
Hmm.
It's hard for our people to do, man.
Yep.
Yeah, you create a little bit of despise, like
Yep.
to a point
Yep.
where you're in the streets, you see a person got their shit together, and you like, oh, he think he all that. No, the man just go to work every day. You
Hmm.
think he all that,
Yep.
meaning me. You feel
Yep.
me?
Yep.
You think he all that. He don't think he all that. He going to work and coming home.
Yeah, and we're gonna show you just like somebody showed you how to turn that 3.5 into a half a cookie or that 7 into a
A
whole one.
whole, yeah.
We can show you the same way. It's the same thing. Let us show you. Yeah, it's the
Yes,
same way.
sir. You see us all. Listen, bro, we live in testimonies, man.
Hmm.
Ain't nobody on this camera struggling, bro. And don't nobody on this camera do nothing illegal. So that's just
Hmm.
tell you all you need to know. And I believe in my heart that we all doing better than we did when we had uh more money than we can count. Because we wasn't doing the
Yep.
right stuff with the money,
Yep.
if we being honest. We were
Right.
getting
Yeah. And,
high. Man, I got a tab. I put pen to paper my last time in the joint. Man, I spent $1.2 million getting high.
Right.
And I did it on the light level. I did it like 10 beans a day, a 3.5, and a deuce of drink. And we all know it's some days you drink a
oh,
four, it's some
right.
days you smoke a seven, and it's some days you
Yep.
take 15 beans. But I
Yep.
did it at the lowest increments for a 18-year period. And hey, man, I want to pass out. So we wasn't doing the right things with the money, man. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then
We
you
was
gotta
just,
add the consequences into that too. What your
Ooh.
wife sent you when you was locked up, what you paid on lawyer fees. You gotta add
facts.
that into that too.
Yeah.
Hey, and then it seemed.
I was just talking about getting high. You're right. When we get
Hmm.
into legal fees
Hey,
and all that,
but it seemed
astronomical what the game
you talk
costs.
when you talking about the getting high part. It seemed like I did more dope the broke I was.
Because you're
Like for
trying to
real.
cope. Listen,
Yeah, you
we
trying
use
to
that as a
cope.
coping mechanism.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
We do, yeah. Instead of facing our problems head on like we do now,
yeah,
now we're going to get fucked up and we'll worry about it tomorrow.
yeah,
We'll pick up what we left off tomorrow. And, I need
Hmm.
$1,000. I made 300 today. I'm finna go get high and I focus on the rest of that 700 tomorrow.
yeah,
Instead of saying, now keep that 40 in your pocket. Put that with the three you got. Fuck getting high. Go get this 1,000. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
yeah, man, that lifestyle and the culture, like you said, man, it messed us up, man. I love it. I respect where we come from, but the drink sipping, slab riding culture fucked us up long term.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I got a question for both of y'all. Dominique, you go first. Take us back to what you were going through that led you to your journey of sobriety. What
Hmm.
was the instant that say, what was the episode? I can't do this no more.
Yeah, yeah. For me, Mike, so It was, I always thought I was a player, fly dude, right?
Yeah.
And the progression, when I started doing drugs, I never thought I would ever do drugs I never even heard of. When I started doing those drugs, um, it was a time where the state ended up coming take my kids. I was in psychosis, meaning I always call it a spiritual warfare. But I would hear voices, I would see things, I would feel things that wasn't there. I tell people all the time, I've been in some tight situations. I've been in prison, I done been robbed, anything you could think about in the streets. But nothing was more frightening when it was inside of my head. And when I would tell somebody, they would laugh or tell me they didn't know what I was talking about. When I was going through that psychosis, that them demons, all my fears, insecurities, low self-esteem, literally attacking me. Seeing my mama drop down to her knees, my kids in state's custody, becoming this person that I never thought I would be. When I got into treatment, Mike, I told God, I said, God, if you stop me from hearing these voices, I promise you, I'm gonna spend the rest of my days, helping people, showing people about what addiction was. And that's been over 11 years ago. But that dark night of the soul, Mike, just that when I lost my mind, when I didn't have no more control over my mind, that's what changed me, because I was so fearful. But also on the same token, I learned so much because it put me in that spiritual realm, and it taught me that it's real, for one, but also it taught me that I was always protected. And anything that was evil or negative that was attacking me, when I went into that spiritual realm, when I got myself together and I realized, like, my mind came back, and I was getting my kids back from the state, and I was like, man, bro, the whole time God was protecting me. Like, ain't no way God was protecting me the whole time. But because my perception was so negative, all I seen was this negative. If I go around you, you either the lost. I didn't fell off. It didn't matter. I'm thinking everybody the lost. The girl I'm with, she move a certain way. I think she's sleeping with everybody. I'm thinking she's sleeping with invisible people. You know what I mean? Like, it got bad to the point where I'm literally riding around, jumping out, ready to kill people who don't even know me, because I think they following me. Seeing my mama cry, bro, that's the most frightening thing ever. And coming out of that and realizing that God kept me the whole time, I just threw my hands up. I say, God, you know what? Like, this what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna help people. And I kept my bargain. I got my little first job. It was at Arby's, and then from there, that's the only really application I filled out. Start working in a treatment center. I end up going to school for trade school for counseling, just being an advocate, teaching people, like, yeah, we might just, not everybody has that addiction gene, but just teaching people, yeah, you might be popping a perk, you might be sipping some Ack or some Alform or whatever they got out there now, which I always laugh. I ain't no way them people sipping that stuff they got out there today. So I ain't trying to, talk about nobody, but that just wouldn't be player back in the day. I come from sipping drink. But, like, that can lead to, bro, you being on something and being a person you never thought you would be. Like, it'll take everything out you. And losing my kids might, uh and losing my mind, like, that did it, bro. When I got that back, man, it wasn't no stopping me. I was on fire. It was just like the streets. This one time I came up, like, I really, really came up. This afterwards, this is when I was selling meth. I'm talking about, I was making profit like 2 grand a day. And then I would stop. But this every day for like 90 days straight at a time. Two
Yeah.
grand a stop. Like, I really was, like, that was some good money. Like,
Man,
if
that's great money, man.
you
That's
know,
life
like,
changing money.
yeah. And but I never forget that song, I've been waiting on this moment, tired of living day to day. That song came out, and I'll never forget, I was listening to that song and I was crying, I was broke, and I smelled, and it was this smell. Like, I'll never forget this smell, like the smell of the seasons changing. And something say, I'm finna be on. And I called my boy Dopey. He let me borrow the money to get my first, and then I came up.
Yeah.
But when I came on this side, it was the same thing. I'll never forget. Something just hit me. It was like that smell, like I felt it in my bones. I say, man, I ain't never looking back. I'm finna do exactly what God want me to do and be exactly who God want me to be. Not perfect now. I'm still toe up, still make bad decisions sometimes. Still got to check myself on a
But
daily.
you got your demons in check. That's what we
Yeah.
what for the audience. When we talk about on this side, change, demons in check. His
That's it.
demon was getting high. He's not saying he don't argue with his wife. He's not saying he don't fuss with his kids. He not saying that. He's saying my demons are in check.
Right.
And it's an everyday fight. We know that
For
for the rest of your
everyday
life.
fun for the rest of my life. And you know what, like, I say every day we turn our will over to God. It's not so much a fight because I can see it. I'm aware of it now. I see little Dominique ready to, like, cause sometimes I'll be thinking, I'll be like, like I really will beat somebody up. Like in my mind, I'll be like, they think I'm really, but then something say, man, you better get on out of here. Like, I'm able to think about it, bro, and just stay on that path. But that was it, Mike. Losing my mind, them demons, that spiritual warfare, that psychosis, and my kids being in state's custody, born into state's custody, and me being able to get them back from the state, get married, and be able to be a father and a husband. Like that was it. Like it wasn't no looking back. And I get to serve. Remember I was in the Marine Corps. I got the bad conduct discharge,
Yeah.
but now I'm fighting for my country, bro. But I'm fighting for people who, like, I'm fighting for the people in the trenches. Like, bro, this could lead you to this. Like, let me help you, helping
Yeah.
people who, yeah, if somebody go to certain people, they like, man, I'm hearing voices, I'm doing this, I'm using this. They like, man, what's wrong with you? You don't supposed to use that.
You
They don't.
understand it.
I understand, like, bro, I've been there. Let me walk you out of there. Come on. And it's a for sure plan, Mike. It's a for sure plan. If they do A, B, and C, it's a for sure plan. And it hit every time.
Dominic, I don't know if you remember me and you in Roosevelt's parking lot. That was like the last time I seen you shit in person.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
This
What
was
happened?
2000. You at this time I think you was probably engulfed in your addiction or whatever, but the things you're doing now, you told me then that's what you want to do. So 3 years prior to you cleaning yourself up, you wanted
Mm-hmm.
it. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
number one ingredient in sobriety is that person gotta want it. You told me in
Mm-hmm.
that parking lot. Like you used to stay away from me because I guess you didn't want me to see you like that.
Oh yeah.
Our,
No.
our shit was something different. So
Right.
you didn't
Right.
want me to see you off your
Oh
note
no. None of
type
y'all was
shit.
finna see me on that.
Like you never, I would hear shit. You never played with me. You could have came, got whatever. Man, I need 10 pounds. I'm gonna give them to you. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? If you run off, my feelings gonna be hurt. But that's my little bro. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you told me everything you're doing now in that parking lot. You may not remember because motherfucker have been chemicals and all this old shit.
Right. Right.
But you told me everything you was trying to do. You was like, man, and yeah, I'm what you say. I want to shake this meth, man, and I'm gonna get my life together. And that
Mm-hmm.
was that. We talked for about 15, 20 minutes. I hugged you. Because, I'm in Houston now, so we seeing so little of each other that we had a
Mm-hmm.
moment. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next time I seen you again, you was this person.
Right.
And man,
Right.
you can imagine how my heart smiled. You feel me?
Right. 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 I always tell Jarvis, man, that's my people. He's like, they're
Oh,
my people too. I say, man, that's my people.
straight up. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us the same thing with you, Jarvis. What was the moment? What was the defining moment?
Man, there was a bunch of little moments leading up to it, I guess, because I had always wanted, well, not always, but at the end, I always wanted to stop doing what I was doing. I just ain't understand like addiction or how progressive it was. Or I didn't understand like those internal struggles I was going through because I ain't never have no space where I can talk about all this stuff.
Yeah.
I come from a community, I come from a culture where we ain't about to be talking about man, my mental health issues. I'm depressed. I feel this
Niggas don't
way.
want to hear that.
Yeah,
If you ain't the people we
you
was
know,
around, if you ain't talking about no money or no plug or no beans, they don't want to hear that.
right, right. And so I had all this time where I was isolated by myself. And some of the most frightening points that I can think of is whenever you by yourself and you really think it's no reason for you being alive. You know, like you arguing and fighting with yourself like, do you deserve to be alive? Will people be better off without you? Um
Yeah.
and there was the dark spaces for me, and then not really having the guts to go through with it, which made me feel even worse because now I'm not even man enough to even follow through with what I think is the best thing to do. Um, thankfully though, thankfully, cause I always was in a lifestyle to where I kept a hustle going, but I got jammed up one night, bro. And what's so crazy about this is the person house I was leaving, he just passed a couple weeks ago, and the person that I was with in the car, he passed a couple years ago. Both of them people gone, but I ended up getting jammed up and going back. When I came from Texas, I had got extradited back home because I had a charge going on, and my lawyer had it to where they wouldn't treat me as a habitual. They tried to give
Yeah.
me 25 years. So instead, I ended up getting 5 years probation, suspended 20. So 4 years later down the road, the point I'm talking about now, I ended up getting jammed up, and I ended up going to revocation for the 25 years. Um,
Ooh.
and that was a dark space because I'm like, man, I'm for the leave. You know, the addiction got me to the point where I'm really not even on my note. I ain't got no money for no lawyer. I ain't doing nothing. I'm just out here surviving, making something out of nothing every day. But looking back, I think that was like it was God, man. He like stopped me. But he didn't completely stop me though. I still had some stuff going on. But I remember my probation officer, um, David Williams, which was the lawyer at this time, and they came, it's for revocation on the 25 years. They said, I bet you go to drug court this time. And cause I always passed up drug court or anything like that. I always looked at it like it's gonna set you up for failure, you know?
Yeah.
Again,
You ain't ready. You ain't want it.
and then condition people in the streets. Don't do no drug court. You don't need that type of stuff. But again, I still was on the fence about drug court, and I remember my wife and kids was in court, you know, and literally David talked to my wife and kids about me being hesitant on taking drug court. And my wife and my son had to literally say, man, daddy, take drug court. You can come home today. See, I was in the back contemplating like if I take this time, how much time I'm gonna do off this. I still was messed up mentally. Thankfully I took drug court, and when I got into drug court, they give you like 60 days, man. They say 60 days, your levels need to come down. You don't need to be dirty no more.
Yeah.
Instead of my levels coming down, my levels went up. And I remember
Oh,
I had reached out to Dominique because at this time Dominique was doing good. He was doing his thing. He was working at a treatment center. He was coming sharing at different things for drug court. So I seen Dominique and I'm like, dang, Dominique got his life together. That's crazy, right?
yeah.
I recall the last time I seen Dominique in person. But I told them people that I couldn't go to no 28-day treatment program. I told them I can go do 3 to 5 days in detox though. Again, trying to take the easy way out. I don't want to go to no 28-day. Let me go do about 3 to 5 days. Let me shake back. And they let me go to detox. The day I got a detox, on my way from detox back home, I got loaded again. Had
Dang.
to go back into drug court. They like, give me a drug screen. Um, I got honest with them. I say, man, I used on my way from detox. Um, I ended up hitting Dominique up, and I was like, bro, detox didn't work. Detox didn't work. I need to get into treatment. Man, Dominique say, man, I knew that wouldn't go work for you. I got you a bed in treatment right now. Like that man kind of seen like this ain't, if you keep taking the easiest off the way, it ain't gonna work for you. You might have to separate yourself for a few days. So I ended up
And
getting
that's
it.
why the people be so receptive to y'all's message and turning themselves, admitting themselves because y'all been through it.
Yep.
Y'all, you, Dominique was 3 months ahead of you on your treatment plan. He finna do this, and this gonna be next, and this gonna be his last two options. He already in December while you thinking about next week.
Right. Look, that man said, I already knew that wasn't gonna work. I got you a bed. I was like, dang, man. I was mad at him because he had me a bed. I wasn't even trying to go that day. But I had
Yeah.
to go to treatment. And but what the turnaround was while I'm in treatment, right? I'm still not convinced. I'm still not at the point where I want to do something different. But I get a family visit from my wife, my two sons, and my daughter was like 3, 4 months at that time. I get a family visit. And again, I'm still straddling the fence. I'm still struggling, just trying to make sure I make it through every day in treatment without leaving, honestly, bro. You know, during this family visit, when they was about to leave, my youngest son, my baby boy, he started crying. I'm talking about he broke down on me. And Junior was telling him to stop crying, stop crying, stop crying. And Jace was like wondering, why Junior, why you not crying? And Junior said, this is the first time, I don't know if this been said before, but this was the first time I heard it.
You heard it,
Junior,
yeah.
Junior said, I ain't about to cry. Why I'm gonna cry? I'm used to my daddy being gone. And bro, for some reason, I internalized it, and I look back and I say, man, I always was gone. I do a good year or two out here, and then I go sit down for 18 months. I come back home for another year or two, then I sit down for 10. I kept that going back and forth. So
Yeah.
Junior really wasn't even sad. He's like, I'm used to my daddy being gone, and I think that night. I went sat on my bed solo, bro, and I really started looking back, and I'm like, man, I never really gave myself a chance at what or took recommendations or followed suggestions of people. I never did it before. I always
Yeah.
try to do stuff my way. I always tried to control the situation. I always thought I had all the answers. And for the first time, while I was sitting that day from what Junior told me, I realized like I really didn't have the answers. So I say, man, I'm gonna give this stuff a chance. And I followed the recommendations and I got out and I connected to Dominique because he was like the only person that I knew that I knew from the streets, but I also knew where he came from. Like
Yeah.
I seen, I just seen
I
him.
seen him living it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And
You got your what that boy name is, that big cockadoo, Norman or Nolan or whatever. We didn't see you don't see your average counselor living. But I've
oh
actually seen this boy Dominique in
yeah,
action. So
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I seen
for
it.
him to be clean is different.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man, I tell stories all the time, bro. I tell him all the time. I remember the one time I was on All Cut with Lil Kenny Page and them, and he was out his mind then. You feel me? He pulled up on us, and I was clutching because I'm like, man, Dominique tripping. Also, another time, whenever I'm on a violation in Bossier, I ain't even know this man had got his life together, bro. I ain't know he had got clean, got his life together, was in drug court, doing all the stuff he was doing. But me and somebody else, we up in Bossier, and I'm getting phone calls, and I'm hearing that he done got married. See, I'm not knowing that he done got his life together. I'm just thinking that whoever he with must don't know who he really is. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
real, because
yeah,
I'm like the Dominique I know, he toe up. So
Mm-hmm.
for to be able to see Dominique, somebody like that, like stand in front of me, he not only productive, he not only working, he got a wife, he got his kids, stuff like that. It was easy for me to say, hey man, what's up? I need to go to these meetings. I need to do this. And Dominique, what's good about what Dominique showed me and what I try to always do today, Dominique ain't just tell you, like, he ain't just gonna tell you do this or do that. Dominique go grab hold of you and he go walk you through the process. Kind of like we was talking about, like, nigga, people used to show me how to cook dope, how to weigh dope, how to do this. He go walk you through the process on this side. So for him connecting to me and being able to connect me with his family and treat me like his brother, and we just developed this relationship we got right now. And he
Hey,
just
hey, Big Mike. Hey, that boy came to my house one day. Now he was clean. He come to my house. I just see a big the feds busting all these people. It was on the news. He come over here. He I go to the end of the driveway. He said, "Yeah, man, I'm picking up this money for such and such." And I seen it on the news. I said, "What you come over here for?" Like I got mad at him, Mike. I like, bro, you gotta go. You gotta get from over here because he was still 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and he ended
yeah.
up
He ain't
back
getting high
locked
no
up.
more, but he's still in the streets.
Right, right. I
yeah,
say, bro, you gotta. They took him to jail for Stacy gun. I'm like, bro, that's it. Like, like that design your heart to do better. If you don't change, bro, you finna end up in the feds now because you ain't got a drug habit. If
yeah,
you finna end up in the feds for a long time.
Yeah.
yeah. Because see, and what I was telling you about in treatment was there was the drug part. Like I just ain't want to do heroin no more. I ain't want to mess with fentanyl no more. You know, I ain't want to go back and go through there and be a slave to something like that no more. So the drug part was in my heart, like I'm done with that. But the lifestyle, I still wanted to go post up on the corner of on Overton and Warsaw. I still wanted to be on Harris. I still wanted to be on Issy Street. I still wanted to be on Colonial. I still was in the mix. So
People, places, and things.
all my
Mhm.
people still doing stuff. So even though I done cleaned up a little, I'm guilty by association. I might not be
Mhm.
moving like I'm supposed to. I might be middleman and I might be directing us, you know. So it was hard for me to separate from the lifestyle part, you know, like completely
That
disconnect. And what it took was them hitting my house. You feel me? Why I got my daughter who a baby girl can't even walk. You know, they hit my house and lock me up, and the police holding my baby until my wife get there, won't let me hold my baby, transport me to jail, and I have to sit there for 40 something days because they trying to figure out like what we go do with him. You know, like he
yeah,
been
I
doing it.
remember that situation about what he just said about the gun situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like because of me being guilty by association because how I'm living, how I'm looking, they come to my house on a search warrant. And plus I'm on probation. It's 4 days before graduation, bro. I put the graduate drug court in 4 days. They come hit my house. They don't find nothing, but guess what? My wife gun. You know, and they held
Yeah,
me on it. And thankfully, David Williams, he was like 2 months before he came a judge. He was my lawyer. He proved where the gun was found it. I had no access to it. It was for my wife. They let me out of jail. And for about 4 months, I was depressed. I'm talking about
yeah.
completely depressed, bro. And I had to go through
Ooh,
that process.
wee.
So, you know, I had to go through that. And some told me, say, man, you need to go get you a job. Dominique had been telling me to get a job, but I ain't want to go get no job because guess what? I only knew one thing. I only felt comfortable doing one thing. And that was it. You know, but
Yeah,
that stuff had to happen in my life, man.
sure, sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, somebody put this alarm on. I'm gonna be right back. Hold on, fella.
okay, Dominique, I'm gonna ask you this one. How do you feel about the? I'm obviously you don't hang around them because I'm sure you change people, places, and things. But how do you feel about people who drink socially or people, your partners that smoke weed? How do you feel? Explain that to me.
So hold on, let's see. All right. So, you know, it's one of those things where, I don't feel no way about it because some people are able to use and not have the consequences that come with using. And it's not up to me now. I am like, my brother's keeper. If I see something that's causing pain that you might not be able to see, I'm gonna mention it. But if your use is not, taking you away from,
Detrimental to yeah.
I don't really have. And a lot of times, I'll see somebody, Mike, and they'll be like, bro, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I always be like, bro, you don't have to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do that. Like, you know,
Come to me when
drugs
you're ready.
affected.
I ain't that. I know what you're
Yeah,
saying. You ain't gotta
right. You ain't,
tell
yeah,
me all the good things you're doing in life because you want
right,
them to
right.
relate on
Yeah,
some
I'm
level.
a I'm a love you anywhere it go. If you my people, you my people. If you use or you use, but when your use is just starting to cause pain in your life and you're able to see that, hey, this behavior is taking me away from who I really want to be, like I'm open. I had 7 years in recovery before I was able to help one of my family members. 7 years because they still, for one, they know Dominique, so it's still 7 years. They still was
They
iffy,
still
bro.
think you faking.
Man, that you still
Man, this
7,
nigga
right,
faking like a motherfucker.
right, right. So it
He
took me
doing something.
7 years to be able to help one of my family members, bro. 7 years, to be able to, for one of them to just be like, hey, like, man, hey, show me the way. I throw my hands up. So it's no judgment, Mike. But I always want to be that where it's no judgment. But I always want to be able to people to see me as open. Like if you struggling, if because a lot of people, especially if they just on medicine, they're able to struggle behind the door. You see what I'm saying? Like we know that too. Like because we was on beans and methadone and drank where you literally struggling, but you still able to make it look good. What where I still could function, but really and truly I was dying on the inside. So I always want to be open for those people to be like, hey, look, like I'm struggling, man. Every single day when I get paid, I'm spending all my money on medicine. Like I
Yeah.
can't even go to work without medicine. I can't even have sex without medicine. I can't even eat without medicine. Being able to be open for those people. Those are the people who, I want to know is no judgment. Like let
Yeah.
me help you.
Them the
Let me
people
show
you
you.
welcome is what you're
Yeah,
saying. Yeah.
let me show you.
Okay.
Like it's no
And see,
judgment.
I'm thinking it would probably be the exact opposite. Like, oh, I'm trying to stay away from all that
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
because of trigger purposes.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No,
No,
hey,
that's long gone.
it's
Like
gone, bro.
yeah,
We
that's
come to
long
a point
gone.
when you work through the process to where it's something that's literally called freedom, right?
Hmm.
To where you no longer you have the freedom from that. Like you
Hmm.
no longer a slave, or it's not a obsession, or it's not controlling you, and you able to be free to go wherever you want to go. It's no triggers or none of that type of stuff, which is
Hmm.
why, like with our jobs, we able to go into our neighborhoods, go into the trenches, and connect with people who are still engaged in whatever they doing, because yeah, we
Hmm.
not triggered at all, man.
It's just
So
like anything else. Like it's just like if I was to romance something, it would always be Al Former. But it's just knowing to play that tape all the way through. You know what I'm saying? That would be the only thing, and that would just be a thought. Like I could still taste drink. You know what I mean? It's been over 12 years since I had some drink, but I could still taste it. You know what I mean? But I know that
Well,
taste.
remember we used to tap Shreveport into asshole.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, but I
I'm
always
talking
say
about
that
every
tape.
day we going to Shreveport, coming back with
Right,
an 8 of eight of purple,
right,
and
right,
two, three, 400 beans.
right,
Every
right,
day your kinfolk was down there.
right, right, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, but nah, Mike, it's no judgment, man. Like people use, if you need me, I'm here. Like
Man,
if you struggling in the closet, I'm here. If you
this
don't think nobody
conversation has
understand,
actually
I'm here.
inspired me, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
I do my thing, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
like everybody else, you feel like you got it under control. I ain't doing no fentanyl or no shit like that.
Right,
I
right.
smoke my weed and I sip some drink every now. You know what I'm saying? I sip some drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a weekend warrior, but
Right.
I want to clean it all the way up. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right.
I had those battles within, and ain't nobody you can talk to about that because
Mm-mm.
you tell them a motherfucker gonna say, well, if you want to do it, do it.
Right,
And it is that easy,
right.
but it's not
right,
that easy because
right,
Mm-mm.
I'm still in that mind state. Y'all finna understand. I don't do shit, so I'm bored.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not that easy. Like I know what you're saying. If you want to quit, quit, nigga. But I wish it was that easy. You feel me?
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So this conversation has definitely been inspirational and motivational to me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And I also want to say I'm gonna end it on this because we've been on for about an hour now. I want to salute y'all boys on y'all work. I want to say y'all are the real deal. Y'all have lived it, walked it, everything you could think of, been through it. Y'all the ideal people to deliver this message, bro. You know what I'm saying? It always come more clearer from a person who's walked. Like if a person that went to Yale come try to talk to me about some some of my indiscretions or whatever, bro, you don't even understand. But coming from either one of y'all two,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna relate because this whole conversation I've been relating and understanding and
Mm-hmm.
then walk down some of those paths. Most of them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so having people like y'all to deliver the message, man, it's refreshing.
Right.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Hey, blessed,
even
blessed to be able to even have that type of message and be here today, because so many. Me and Dominique speak of it all the time. Like within these 7 years of me doing what I'm doing, most funerals I've been to in my entire life. I'm talking about from being born all the way up to whenever I got sober at 36. From 36 to 9, I had been to more funerals than I've been to my entire life. So, and a lot of it coming from our generation. So I didn't be, and most of them, because I go to their funerals, is people that I didn't use with or dealt with or in the mix with. So for me to be able to say, like I made it through that, like I'm grateful, totally grateful, and I know it's a blessing just to be able to talk. And I appreciate you putting us on your platform and being
Mm-hmm.
able to have these type of open conversations. See the type where I come from, they don't even let these type of conversations be normal.
Yeah.
That's not even normal, which it should be normal. We should be able to speak about whatever we're going through and don't have no judgment, have a safe space. And then if somebody willing to be helped, then we provide them with that help. But
60% of the addiction population suffering from something in silence, and they're using that addiction to cope.
yeah,
Right. Right.
So us men, we gotta make it normal for us to be able to
Mm-hmm.
talk to each other
yep,
Right.
yeah,
without being feeling like, oh, he's soft or he this or he broke.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta have an open platform and open dialogue, bro. A
Right.
safe place. You know what I'm saying?
yep.
And to that,
Gotta
and somebody gonna be listening, Mike, and somebody they gonna be looking in the mirror and they gonna feel like they lost themselves. Like, how could I become this person? How could I let something like this get me? And they still stuck in that mind frame where we don't have an open dialogue or we don't do this, or it might be some female. But our message is always this, man. Like, if you lost yourself mentally, if you lost yourself to a addiction or something like that, that you can't recover or you can't get to the help you need unless you reach out. And the realest thing you could do for yourself is to get yourself back to being who God or whatever you believe in intended you to be. And the way you do that is just by having some courage. No matter what you feeling on the inside, having that courage, picking up the phone, even if you're not ready, say, hey, bro, I just want to run it. I just want to talk. And being able to do that to get yourself back to being who you're supposed to be. That ain't you. You know what I'm saying? That's not you.
Think about I verbalized it because think about how many times you thought about I want to get clean, but you ain't told nobody for them to because they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
hold you accountable. When you
Mm-hmm.
tell them now, they finna start asking you, you
Mm-hmm.
still? So
But
yeah.
yeah, it
So
ain't even about
normalize
the
that, fellas.
right.
Audience.
yeah,
If
Yeah.
you got it in your heart, and it's just tell somebody. Don't be worried about them holding you accountable. Take
Mm-hmm.
that.
Because
Yeah.
Mike, guess what? When something in your heart and it's really in your heart and your feet can't do the action, I ain't gonna lie. What I believe, God, this universe, whatever you believe, gonna put you in a situation to give you that desire in your heart. And you might not like that situation or how you get there, but if it's really in your heart, it's gonna come. It's
oh,
coming.
it's going on.
It's
And that's
coming.
how I ended up sitting in jail because it was in my heart. I knew I wanted to live a different life. I knew I wanted to stop doing what I was doing. So guess what? Sit down. Sit down then.
And I want to speak on the point you made earlier. Just like me, this was one of the contributions of me leaving the game. But I remember I was suicidal at a point. One time I counted $100,000 for one day, bought a big pack, sent it back, it got jammed up. Same scenario, kind of like what you went through. And I sat in the closet for 3 or 4 days, wanting to off myself because that was my identity. Money
Right?
was my identity. Money was my everything. You know what I'm saying? And I actually contemplated killing myself. The first day I stopped, I'm like, damn, I can't do this. It's gonna hurt too bad. Second day, I'm like, I can't do this here. My kids gonna find me. So after the second day, I didn't fuck around for a couple of days. I didn't have an episode. And some bread that people owed me came through. And I'm like, damn, you was really finna take yourself out, and the answer to your problem was right there. You know what I'm saying? Literally 7 days. It was like 7 days to the day of the first time I sat in that closet. So that made me never, even think about suicide again because that was crazy. That fucked me up. Like you was, I was gonna do it, bro. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
about sitting in the closet crying, snotting boogers, just down on myself, all of that shit. You know what come with that,
Mm-hmm.
and I just never played with that like that no more. You know what I'm saying? That eliminated that suicidal thought. So we be depressed, bro, man. So you gotta have somebody you could talk to. I ain't had nobody I
Mm-hmm.
could talk to. I felt like I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
and it
Hey,
caused me to sit in the closet and I'm gonna blow my brains out. Thank God I
yeah.
didn't. I'm here to talk about it.
That's
Right.
But
it.
that's my testimony, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, you got a
Mm-hmm.
purpose, and a lot of our people out there that's
Mm-hmm.
in the dark, not knowing if they worthy or if they important, feel just like that right now as we speaking. But we got to make sure conversations like this are being had, spaces are being provided because I didn't even know what depression was. I remember I was on the phone with Dominique doing the intake, and he was like, "Have you ever been depressed before?" I'm like, "Nah." He like, "Then why you on the phone with me talking about you want to come to treatment?" Like but I didn't. We never talked about depression. We never talked about
Mental health
anxiety.
was taboo
Look,
in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
man, my daddy
Mm-hmm.
say, "Man, stop
You was
being
either
lazy."
SSI or you was
Yes,
us.
and look, my daddy
That's
say,
it.
Yeah.
my daddy
Yeah.
say, "Man, stop being lazy, man. Get off your ass and do something." But the whole time looking back, because I know what depression feel like today, I know the signs and symptoms. I felt it. So now I can look back and say, man, when I was younger, I really was having some depressive moments. You feel me? But we
Yeah.
didn't have those. Nobody say, "Hey, go talk to a therapist. Go seek counseling. Go talk to some." We
Mm-hmm.
didn't do none of that. So we
Yeah, go
gotta,
talk to your best friend.
yeah,
But
Right.
we didn't think of none of that. We
yep,
just thinking, I'm gonna sleep it off. I'm gonna get high it off.
right,
I'm gonna get
Mm-hmm.
right.
high enough to where I don't feel it no more. And
Yeah,
then
you
you
gotta
might go
make
a week or two without your episode, but it's coming back if depressed if you're really depressed.
it's
Right.
real. It's real. So we got to make sure we have these spaces, but also have the resources available, and know which direction to point people in. And I'm saying that because I seen something on social media about a week ago, and it was one of my partners, and he had put on there like, I don't even want to live no more, right? So what I did when I seen it, I just hit him up, inboxed him, what's up, if you, but the comments under it, right, which was hit some of his partners, and they didn't think they was wrong, and they might not have been wrong. I ain't the one to judge. Like, man, get off of here with that weak ass shit. Hey, bro, like,
Yeah,
so we as men, we don't even know how to respond when somebody in a crisis,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
facts.
So we gotta we
Real
gotta
shit.
we got to know how to respond because it's real. Everybody
It could be
life,
the difference.
yeah,
Suicide at the all-time high.
right.
Your
Right.
Hey,
response could be the difference in him following through with a
right,
thought and him not following through. So yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Never tell your people get out in there with this goofy shit, bro. That's a cry
yeah,
for help. That's the biggest cry for
Right.
help
Right.
yeah, yeah.
there is when you go
But
to Facebook
we
with it.
don't know what we've been taught. We've been taught, hey man, they just want attention. That's or whatever. So that person didn't even know what they was doing. They not wrong. They just this is how we've been raised, and this how we've been. It's just how
Yeah, that's how we've been programmed. That's
programmed.
the streets.
Yep.
Program. Yep.
That's the streets. The streets don't
Program.
want you to let the world know nothing that you got no flaw.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
feel me? You
Mm-hmm.
get on the internet and say anything about you having a flaw, your partner's gonna take that down. Woo
Yep.
woo woo.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't gonna call you and address that flaw.
Right.
They're gonna be more worried about how you making us look
The
and you making
Mm-hmm.
perception.
yourself look.
The perception. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, give them y'all social medias, y'all phone numbers, anything that'll get them in contact with y'all, man, to change their life right now.
Hey, on I just got Facebook. On Facebook, Jarvis Fontaine. I think it's one account on. They gonna say Project Rebuild on there, and I'm located at Class on Healthy Living for All in Alexandria, Louisiana. 318-442 1010, and just ask for Jarvis, and connect you to any type of resources you might be looking for. If I ain't got them or we don't have the answer, I'm gonna try to connect you with somebody who might have the answers.
Right. And y'all can hit me up, Dominique Teasley on Facebook or Project Rebuild 1111 on TikTok. And if y'all know somebody who's struggling or having some issues, they can call 318-664-4244. They can call that number 24 hours out today. That's the mobile crisis line, and we're going to get them connected to the help they need. I don't care where you at. Call that number. We're going to get you connected.
And listen, you can call if you need a ear to listen to. You ain't gotta be ready today. But you
Mm-mm.
can make that call to start the process and get some of these feelings that you feeling out of your brain.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Expose them to the light. expose them to the light. It's no judgment. We've been there, and I know you're ready to get back to yourself and become that person you know God intended you to be. You don't have to live like that no more, and you don't have to do it alone.
Yep.
Facts.
And even if you don't know, let's say you don't know, you don't have the answers. You got some people who will be by your side who will connect with you, and we go figure it out together.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
That's what it is, man. It's your boy Jug, WDH TV, WDH Apparel, Project Rebuild, Stop the Fent. We out. One.
One.